Welcome back to In the Loop. I'm Betty Lou. The opening bell is moments away. In fact, just about a minute away. John Ehrlichman, Adam Johnson with me. Also, Callie Carlin down at the New York Stock Exchange to all help us get set up for the trading day. And, you know, we were just talking to Roger Altman of Evercore about M&A activity. He thinks we're in an upcycle now.
Yeah.
And we've seen that so far with some of the deals.
Well, we are seeing deals. I mean, that's the bottom line. And today we saw Apache buy Mariner. It's kind of a deep water deal. Apache, a big independent player going deep, wants those assets. And the price is right for oil for a seller right now. You know, we saw this recently, too, with BP going after some assets from, what, Devon?
Exactly right. Deepwater assets off the coast of Brazil.
But there's a lot of assets, oil assets in play right now. And so you would expect that you would hear a lot more about these deals.
And with crude prices where they are, again, some would argue maybe they shouldn't be at those levels. But the bottom line is you can get a better price as a seller if you want to focus on the rest of your business, because Roger Altman just told us there's still some scary things ahead out there. So maybe you take the money if you get a good deal.
Right.
Hard assets.
And Citi. Citi is one thing you're watching.
Yeah, Citi knocking on that $5 door, back up to about $5, $4.99.5 in the pre-open. Remember, the government's cost basis is $3.25. So right now, if the government were to sell all its Citi shares, profit of $13.5 billion. Roger Altman talking about deficit being an issue. The higher Citi goes, the more the government makes, the better it is for certainly the deficit picture. And just speaks to the strength of the market as a whole. If guys are buying Citi knowing that there is a lot of stock out there for sale, that's a strong statement.
All right. Okay. Well, on that note, I want to get to Larry Levin. He is the president of Trading Advantage over at the CME. And Larry, you know, we've talked quite a bit, you know, about the news of the day, but also about these levels that we're seeing, right? Dow over 11,000, the S&P over 1,200. You, of course, say that all of this is meaningless.
Well, yeah, I think, you know, they're just great numbers to talk about here on TV and big headlines, whether you're looking at, you know, business news sites or the Wall Street Journal. But to be honest, there is no real resistance at 11,000 in the Dow. There was no real resistance at 1,200 in the S&Ps. Those are just big round numbers. To be honest, the bigger resistance in the Dow comes in around 11,800. The 20-day moving average is not 11,000 in the Dow. The 200-day moving average is not 11,000. It's just a big number to be talked about. You know, like I always talk about on these shows. Go ahead.
But, Larry, average investors who have not participated in this rally, and the numbers show that all the money has flown into the bond market, not into the stock market. A lot of people have missed out on these rallies, and then they see these numbers and they think, should I get in? What kind of comments are you getting from people now that we're back at these levels? What is the average investor asking about whether or not they should get in?
Well, the average investor sees two things. He sees an awful lot of people coming on shows like this and talking about how great the economy is, how great the stock market is. But a lot of those people have a vested interest to get these markets to go up, to get people to participate in these markets. The other side of that coin is people looking at the unemployment rate, at the number of foreclosures, at the situation that should probably get a whole lot worse as far as foreclosures are concerned. I was reading an article the other day that talked about 125,000 calls are coming into Bank of America every single day for people who are in big trouble. There's an awful lot of people that haven't paid a single payment in an entire year through Bank of America. Those are the reasons, if you ask me, why you're seeing a little bit of an uptick in economic data. You're seeing retail sales be a little bit better. Well, if I don't pay my mortgage every single month, I've got a little bit more money to buy things like iPads and things like that. But if I pay my mortgage, maybe it's a different story. That's a big problem, and I don't think it's really being addressed.
Hey, Larry, a lot to digest there. So let me ask you, what's the trade today? What are you guys looking at today? What do you want to do?
Well, I'll be honest, we've talked about this market being intervened by the government for so long. I mean, just continually pushed higher, momentum being up. I will say above 1,200, I believe the market's going to run out of gas for a little while. It's not going to run out of gas forever, but I believe a short play is in order here. Above 1,200, you can sell the S&Ps. Above 11,000, you can sell the Dow Jones. You don't want to look for too much, but I do believe I'll see the Dow Jones come down another 400 or 500 points before it goes up 400 or 500 more points. I think the same thing in the S&P. You'll see a drop off.
Are you talking because what you're basically saying, Larry, it sounds like, is that there's going to be this day of reckoning between the what you're hearing on shows like ours and what the reality is that you're seeing. So this 400 or 500 point drop, what are you talking about over the next few, let's say over a course of several weeks, or are you talking about another big drop on one single day?
No, I think over several weeks. I think people coming in taking profits and that snowball that we've seen going up start to take a little bit of shape going downwards. I don't think it's going to last forever because I think more government intervention will come to prevent it from dropping very far. But I do think a little bit of a sell-off is certainly in order. We've seen nothing but upwards movement. The economic data, while it supported a little bit, I've told you the reason I believe that's the case.
Okay, Larry, good to talk with you. Larry Levin over at the CME. I want to get to Scarlett Fu now, who's looking at some of the big movers. Scarlett.